We all face moments in life when it feels like the world is against us. We work hard, we strive, we push forward, and yet the obstacles keep piling up. In those moments, it's easy to feel defeated, like nothing you do matters, and no matter how hard you try, success is always just out of reach. But what if I told you that the struggle you're facing right now, that feeling of life being against you, is exactly where your strength lies? What if the difficulties you encounter aren't just challenges to overcome, but opportunities to grow, to thrive? In today's video, we'll turn to one of the greatest Stoic philosophers and Roman emperors, Marcus Aurelius, who faced unparalleled challenges, yet maintained his inner strength and wisdom. He learned how to rise above adversity, and his teachings still resonate today. I'm going to share with you 10 Stoic principles based on the writings of Marcus Aurelius that will help you thrive when life is against you. Stay with me until the end, and I'll show you how these timeless teachings can empower you to turn your greatest challenges into your greatest strengths. This is Be Stoic, and today we're uncovering the Stoic way to thrive no matter how hard life pushes against you. Principle 1. The power of perception. Marcus Aurelius teaches us that the universe is change, our life is what our thoughts make it. This insight is one of the foundational principles of Stoic philosophy, understanding that while the external world is constantly changing, it is our perception that defines how we experience it. When we face difficult situations, our immediate reaction is often emotional. We feel anger, frustration, or even despair. These emotions come from the stories we tell ourselves about the situation. But what if we could step back and change the narrative? What if the difficulty itself isn't inherently negative, but our perception of it makes it so? Imagine this. You're at work, and you've just been told that despite all your efforts, a project you've been working on for months has been scrapped. All that work seems like a waste. Your mind starts racing, blaming yourself, your boss, or even bad luck. But now pause. What if, instead of seeing this as a personal failure, you saw it as an opportunity? What if this setback opens a door for you to pivot to something better, something more aligned with your true strengths? In Stoicism, perception is everything. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that it's not the events themselves that disturb us, but the way we interpret them. When you shift your perception from "this is a disaster" to "this is a challenge that will make me stronger," you change your entire relationship with the obstacle. Suddenly, the thing that seemed to be against you is no longer an enemy, but a potential ally in your growth. The next time life feels overwhelming, remember, it's not the situation that's causing your distress, but your interpretation of it. And that's something you have the power to change. Principle 2. Focus on what you can control. Marcus Aurelius writes, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This principle is at the heart of Stoicism, the understanding that we cannot control everything in life, but we can control how we respond to it. How many times have you found yourself trying to change things that are outside your control? Perhaps you've been caught in traffic, stressing about being late, or found yourself in a situation where someone's actions hurt you, and you've spent hours dwelling on their behavior. This frustration comes from focusing on the external, things you cannot change. Imagine this. You've been training for a marathon for months, but a week before the race, you injure your leg. The disappointment is overwhelming. You can't control the injury, but what you can control is how you react to it. Instead of wallowing in frustration, you decide to focus on rehabilitation. You use this time to improve other aspects of your health, your mental toughness, your upper body strength, and your knowledge of injury prevention. When we focus on what we can control, our thoughts, our actions, our reactions, we reclaim our power. Life may throw obstacles at us, but we get to decide how we handle them. Stoicism teaches us to stop wasting energy on things outside of our control and instead focus on what's within our power. This shift frees up mental and emotional energy, making us more resilient. The next time you find yourself stressed about something outside your control, Take a step back. Ask yourself, what can I influence here? Then put all your energy into that and let go of the rest. You'll find that life becomes far less overwhelming when you focus on what you can control. Principle 3. Embrace the present moment. Marcus Aurelius tells us, confine yourself to the present. This Stoic principle urges us to stay grounded in the present moment, the only time we truly have any control over. It's easy to get lost in the past, rehashing old mistakes, regretting missed opportunities, or we get stuck worrying about the future. Will things ever get better? Will I succeed? These thoughts pull us away from the present, where real life is happening and where real change can occur. Imagine this. You're sitting at home feeling anxious about the future. You've been thinking about an important presentation that's coming up, and the fear of failure is eating away at you. Your mind jumps to worst-case scenarios, imagining how badly it could go. But instead of spiraling further into anxiety, you take a deep breath and bring yourself back to the present. Right now, at this moment, you're safe. You're prepared. You remind yourself that the future doesn't exist yet. What matters is how you use this moment to prepare and strengthen your resolve. Living in the present isn't about ignoring the past or future. It's about understanding that the present is the only time we can act. The past is done, and the future is not guaranteed. But right now, you have the power to shape your experience. By embracing the present, you free yourself from the weight of past regrets and future anxieties. The next time you find yourself overwhelmed by thoughts of the past or future, bring yourself back to the present. Ask yourself, what can I do right now to improve my situation? This is where your power lies. Principle 4. Turn adversity into opportunity. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This is one of the most powerful teachings in Stoicism, the idea that obstacles aren't just barriers to success, but the very means by which we grow stronger. Life is full of obstacles. They can come in the form of financial hardship, personal loss, or career setbacks. While most people view these obstacles as things to avoid or overcome, Stoicism teaches us that these very challenges are opportunities for growth. Imagine this. You've just been passed over for a promotion at work, despite putting in long hours and doing everything right. It feels like a punch to the gut, but instead of seeing this as a failure, you decide to use it as fuel. You reflect on what you could improve, maybe enhancing your skills or seeking out new opportunities. In time, this rejection leads you to a new role or even inspires you to start your own business, something you never would have considered if things had gone smoothly. In Stoicism, adversity isn't something to avoid, it's something to embrace. Challenges force us to grow in ways we wouldn't otherwise. When you face an obstacle, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "How can I use this to become stronger?" The next time life throws an obstacle in your path, pause and look at it from a new perspective. How can this challenge be a stepping stone to something greater? When you start seeing adversity as an opportunity, nothing can stand in your way. Principle 5. Practice patience and endurance. In his meditations, Marcus Aurelius offers timeless advice. When jarred, unavoidably by circumstances, revert at once to yourself, and don't lose the rhythm more than you can help. This speaks to the importance of patience and endurance in the face of difficulty. We live in a world that values quick results. Whether it's instant success in our careers, immediate improvements in our relationships, or rapid progress in personal goals, we want things to happen fast. But life doesn't always work that way. Sometimes growth is slow and success takes time. This is where Stoic endurance comes into play. Imagine this. You're trying to learn a new skill, perhaps playing a musical instrument or mastering a sport. In the beginning, progress is fast, and you're motivated. But as time goes on, the progress slows, and frustration sets in. It feels like no matter how hard you try, you're stuck at the same level. The temptation to give up grows stronger every day. But instead of giving in to frustration, you remind yourself of the Stoic principle of endurance. You understand that mastery takes time and that the real strength lies in showing up every day, even when progress is slow. Patience is a virtue the Stoics prized above all. The ability to endure hardship, to stay committed to a goal even when the rewards aren't immediate, is what separates those who thrive from those who give up. Marcus Aurelius knew this well. As a leader facing immense pressure and constant challenges, he understood that patience and resilience are the keys to long-term success. The next time you feel like giving up because things aren't happening fast enough, remind yourself of the power of endurance. Success is often about sticking it out when others give up. Keep moving forward, even if the progress is slow. You'll thank yourself later. Principle 6. Accept and embrace change. Observe always that everything is the result of change, and get used to thinking that there is nothing nature loves so well as to change existing forms, wrote Marcus Aurelius. Change is one of the most inevitable parts of life, yet it's also one of the things we resist the most, whether it's the end of a relationship, the loss of a job, or even something as simple as moving to a new city. Change can be unsettling. We cling to what we know, even if it's no longer serving us, because the unknown is terrifying. But Stoicism teaches us to accept change as a fundamental part of life. In fact, Marcus Aurelius saw change as essential to our growth. Imagine this. You've just found out that your job is being eliminated due to a company-wide restructuring. The initial shock is overwhelming. You feel angry, scared, and unsure of what to do next. But instead of resisting the change or trying to cling to the past, you remind yourself that change is a part of life. You begin to see this as an opportunity to explore new career paths or pursue passions that you'd put on hold. Stoicism reminds us that change is not something to fear, but something to embrace. Everything in nature is in a state of constant transformation, including us. By resisting change, we cause ourselves unnecessary suffering. But by accepting it, we allow ourselves to grow and evolve. The next time life forces change upon you, instead of resisting, lean into it. Trust that this transformation, no matter how uncomfortable, is leading you to a new stage of growth. Principle 7. Cultivate inner strength through solitude. Marcus Aurelius found strength in solitude. He wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." In today's world, we are constantly surrounded by noise, notifications from our phones, conversations, the pressure to keep up with social media, and the demands of work. This constant stimulation can leave us feeling drained, overwhelmed, and disconnected from ourselves. But the Stoics understood that true strength comes from within, and sometimes we need solitude to tap into that strength. Imagine this. You've had a long day, full of stress and noise. Meetings, deadlines, and family responsibilities have taken up all your time, and by the end of the day, you feel exhausted and disconnected. Instead of turning to your phone for distraction or losing yourself in entertainment, you decide to spend a few minutes in solitude. You sit in silence, close your eyes, and let your mind settle. In this quiet moment, you reconnect with yourself, finding clarity and peace. Solitude isn't about loneliness, it's about creating space for self-reflection and growth. In solitude, we can hear our own thoughts, reflect on our actions, and find the inner strength to face the world's challenges. The next time you feel overwhelmed by life's demands, take a few minutes to retreat into solitude. Use this time to reflect on your goals, recharge your energy, and reconnect with your inner strength. This practice will help you build resilience in the face of adversity. Principle 8. Practice gratitude, even in hardship. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Dwell on the beauty of life. Watch the stars and see yourself running with them." Stoicism teaches that even in the darkest moments, there is always something to be grateful for. When life is hard, It's easy to focus on what's going wrong. We fixate on our problems, magnifying them in our minds, and forget to notice the good things that still surround us. But Marcus Aurelius knew that gratitude is one of the most powerful tools we have for shifting our perspective and finding peace, even in hardship. Imagine this. You're going through a difficult time. Perhaps a loved one is sick, or you're struggling with financial issues. The stress feels all-consuming, and it's hard to see anything positive. But then you pause and look around. You notice the support of your friends and family, the roof over your head, the food on your table. You start to feel a sense of gratitude for the small things, even in the midst of your struggle. Gratitude shifts our focus from what's lacking to what's abundant. Even in the darkest times, there is always something to be thankful for. Whether it's the beauty of nature, the kindness of a stranger, or simply the fact that you've made it through another day. The next time you're facing a tough situation, take a moment to reflect on what you're grateful for. This simple practice can lift your spirits and give you the strength to keep going, even when life feels overwhelming. Principle 9. Know that all things are temporary. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight. One of the core teachings of Stoicism is the idea of impermanence, that everything in life, whether joy or sorrow, is temporary. When we're in the midst of suffering, it often feels like it will last forever. The pain seems endless, and it's hard to imagine a time when things will be better. But Stoicism teaches us that everything is temporary. Just as good times come and go, so too will the bad times. Imagine this. You're dealing with the loss of a relationship or a significant failure in your career. The emotional weight is heavy, and it feels like you'll never recover. But then, you remind yourself that this pain, as intense as it is right now, will not last forever. Time will heal the wounds, and you'll come out stronger on the other side. Understanding that all things are temporary can give us the strength to endure even the hardest moments. It reminds us that nothing lasts forever, not our pain and not our joy. By embracing this truth, we can learn to let go of both our attachments and our fears, finding peace in the knowledge that life is constantly changing. The next time you find yourself overwhelmed by a difficult situation, remind yourself, this too shall pass. By accepting the impermanence of life, you can face challenges with greater resilience and inner peace. Principle 10. Live according to virtue. Finally, Marcus Aurelius teaches us to live according to virtue. He writes, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." When life feels chaotic and overwhelming, it's easy to lose sight of what matters most. But Stoicism teaches us that no matter how difficult life becomes, we should always strive to live with virtue, courage, wisdom, temperance, and justice. Imagine this. You're in a difficult situation where acting unethically would be the easier path. Maybe it's at work, where cutting corners could help you get ahead, or in a relationship, where bending the truth might avoid conflict. But instead of taking the easy way out, you decide to act with integrity. You choose the path of honesty, courage, and virtue, even though it's harder in the moment. Stoicism teaches that living according to virtue is the ultimate path to thriving, no matter what life throws your way. When you live in alignment with your values, external circumstances lose their power to shake you. You become grounded in something deeper, something unchangeable. Every day, ask yourself, am I living according to my highest values? If the answer is yes, then you are thriving, regardless of what life's challenges might be. Life will test you. It will challenge you, push you to your limits, and sometimes make you feel like everything is against you. But as we've learned from Marcus Aurelius and the Stoic philosophers, you have the power to not only face those challenges, but to thrive through them. By changing your perception, focusing on what you can control, embracing the present moment, and living according to virtue, you can navigate life's obstacles with grace and strength. If you found these Stoic principles valuable and want to continue learning how to apply them in your daily life, subscribe to Be Stoic. On this channel, we dive deep into the timeless wisdom of Stoicism and explore how you can use it to transform your life. Don't forget to check out my other videos on Stoicism and how it can help you thrive, no matter what life throws at you. Thank you for watching, and remember, no matter what challenges you face, you have the strength to overcome them.